Hello, here is a video of my latest dowel hybrid. She is a 17-inch Ever After Madeline Hatter dowel. Her hands are Tonner Deja Vu, and her head is a Tonner Tyler Wentworth, which has been heavily modded with Epoxy Putty. I tried my best to do a face up and paint, which was really hard to do. So I ended up using nail decals for her eye makeup. She has eyelashes. I cut out the top of her head and the back of her head to mod it so that she could have acrylic eyes. She also is wearing secondhand earrings. Why make earrings when you can buy them already made? I made the wig from a piece of lace top wig that I wasn't using. It turned out really nice. The only thing about the 17-inch Ever After high dowels or the Monster high dowels is that it's very hard to find clothes for them, so I had to make clothes. Clothes patterns are very easy to come by, but the shoes, they have an odd size shoe, and I have yet to find something that's practical. So I ended up making her these boots. These are my prototype shoes. Haven't decided what I'm going to do with the lace. It's stretchy lace, but they turned out pretty good. She can actually stand in them, as you could see earlier. I made a pattern for these boots, which I plan to use more. They turned out pretty good. The dress is made out of a sock that's more like stocking, so it started to run a little bit, so I ended up putting a little bit of glue where I cut it open, but otherwise it's okay. Jewelry made out of just jewelry that my daughter didn't want anymore. Basically, these are those ear cuffs that you put on the top of your ear, top of the ear. Just use those for bracelets. Here's another one that I put on her arm. And I ended up having to paint her body because she was a lot of different colors, of course. If you ever see the Ever After high dowel, she has white stockings with blue polka dots that's painted. Her legs are actually white and she has blue polka dots, so I had to file that off and then spray paint her whole body to make it match along with her head. Again, the head, I'm satisfied with it. I constantly change it. She's my little Franken doll, but she's okay. And then I made her a little bralette. You can see the back. It comes off. It turned out pretty nice. Pretty easy to make with some lace. The reason I like this doll is because it's bigger than a Barbie. Again, it's 16 inches. She's 16 inches tall. So she's very easy to make clothes for without being too small. I love her silhouette. This little wraparound thing I made to go over it, but I will show you her silhouette. She is very articulate. If I can get this off. Sorry, I am so not good at making videos at all. Okay. And this is on my phone, so there you go. But I want to show you her body. She has a very, very articulate body. Kind of like a BJD. She's very flexible. She has a really cool silhouette. These hands are not the original hands. Again, these are Deja Vu by Tonner. They're a little bigger than the original hands, and the original hands she had were made out of blue plastic, which was a no-go for me. So I replaced those. If you can see, if I can get this off. There we go. She has a really cool silhouette. She's not the typical shape. She has a very interesting shape. There's a drawstring on her undies, so I can kind of make them smaller. They serve their purpose. But otherwise, I had to spray paint her whole body just to make everything match because she was so many different colored pinks. Her arms are still kind of pink. I will probably end up repainting her because there are areas, if you can see, where the paint either rubbed off or didn't cover extremely well, but I'm satisfied with how she turned out. The paint got a little funky around the arms. I think there was some type of reaction, so probably have to redo that too. But her hands come loose. Down here, I had to mod the little hole because the peg for these were a little bigger than the original hands. And then her arms detach up here too, so she's really easy to dress. Again, she's got a lot of areas that need repaint, but I probably won't do that till the summertime. I put a little decal right there. I'm not liking it because it looks like red's probably not the best color for a decal on her navel, so I'll probably change it to like a gold or a silver. I was struggling with the face paint, so I ended up just putting nail decals for the eyeshadow, which I really like the way it turned out. The eyebrows, they're okay. Acrylic eyes that I got from a little cheap doll from Walmart. So, and then the eyelashes, of course, just whatever I had, and I trimmed them and glued them in. Put little holes in her ears. She can wear any type of earrings. Again, I just go to thrift stores and find things, junk jewelry, or my daughter gives me her old jewelry. And that's the hair. I put Marcel wax on it because she had some serious flyaway. She still has some, but not nearly as bad, to try to get it to tame. I glued the sides down. Of course, it's coming back up, but I'll kind of figure that out on a later date. But otherwise, I love her articulation. Check this out. She can touch her face. Can you see that? She can touch her face. Her arms rotate. They go all the way up. Pretty high. And I think this head is a lot smaller than her original head. You know, the Ever After High or the Monster High dolls, they have a really large head comparing to the rest of their bodies. This one is a lot smaller. Again, it's a Tonner Tyler Wentworth. And I actually modded the back of the head as well. I cut a large section out the back of the head so I could smash it tighter. And so it fit the peg a little better. Her thighs rotate and she can kind of do splits and everything. Her knees, I don't know if you can see that, but bend all the way back. The only spot where she doesn't really have any articulation is at her heels. She has those really tall, high Monster High or Ever After High heels, which I personally like, so I don't mind that. Her feet are kind of big, so I kind of went with a bigger hand to to kind of balance that out. And again, she has a very small bust. Oh, and she has articulation right here too. I don't know if you can see that, but she's kind of sway back. Again, you can see where the paint is coming off, so I have to repaint her, but again, there was like a weird reaction, but just think all of that was like white and blue polka dot and a whole bunch of different colors. Her face didn't match. So in the summertime when the weather's better, I will probably end up repainting her again. I bought some paint to repaint her and the nozzle broke and it was just, I didn't feel like redoing it. I'm focusing on making her clothes right now. She'll be covered up anyway, so not that big of a deal. But she's a really cool size. She's probably like a 1/4 size doll. And again, very posable. Right kind of shoes she can stand. The challenge is finding shoes, so I have to make shoes for her. There's a lot of patterns out there for making clothes, but she's really easy to make clothes too. And with the shoes, I made this pattern for her boots, which turned out really well. So I'm going to try to make more of these, see what I come up with. And again, this was a sock that was more like a stocking. I think in hindsight, I probably use something more of a sock fabric than the stocking because again, it started to kind of ravel or run. So I put a little glue there, but I think next time if I do decide to use this type of fabric, I will cut out a piece of fabric or something like that, like a circle, glue it where I need it to glue, where it to go, and then cut the hole from there so that it won't ravel. Otherwise, this fabric is really great for clothes. Got this trim. I think it's like 1/8 of a yard. And I doubled it, glued it together because I wanted the shiny leather look and the little suede back part of it. I wanted that to show too. This is actually this part where I use for a button is a paper fastener. Can you see that? I'm not sure if you can see it. Hold on. But it looks like a button. But it's a paper fastener. It's not showing up too well. But I use that, and I think I'm going to use a lot of these. I got the white ones because I can paint them whatever color or, add gems and stuff to them. But it's a great size. You don't have to sew it or anything. You just kind of put it on and then use like a little loop. I like using the elastic thread because it has some give. It stretches. So I use that for the loop. Think about trying to make some boots that have like the loops, just a bunch of loops. And then on the other side, a bunch of those paper fasteners that look like buttons to fasten it and just kind of see how that turns out. For the heels, pin with different beads works really great for the heel. Just kind of line them up in the back. So if I figure out some really good ways to make some really cute shoes and boots for any kind of style, I'll try to share that with you. Again, oh, there goes her earring. It's okay. But just wanted to show you that I am so proud of her. I love her. And that's that. Thank you.